for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Haribo. Haribo. We'll discuss about this today, will we? Or maybe, I think so, yes. Alright, so with that, I hope that's a trailer for the 4 verses. Very beautiful verses. Some of my favorite verses. Very beneficial in our sadhana also, in our spiritual practices. These verses are very beneficial to have. Alright, so we'll quickly recap and quickly go through our plan of record. So the second chapter, one of the bigger chapters in the Bhagavad Gita, it's entitled
Sankhya.
Both of them are correct. Haribo! Of course, what Venuji mentioned is Sankhya Yoga, which is what we call in Sanskrit. Every chapter of Bhagavad Gita has a Sanskrit name, and contents of Gita summarized is what Prabhupada gave English names for each of these chapters. So this primarily has about 4 sections. 2, 3, 4 or 5 sections. The first one, Arjuna still discusses some more arguments on why he can't fight. And then eventually he comes to a point where he realizes, I cannot handle this myself. And then he surrenders to Krishna. And then he says, please accept me as your disciple. Now, instead of being a friend, please tell me, what should I do? So, and it's amazing how Krishna actually, he keeps silent till that point. It's actually very difficult. I have practical experience not to give suggestions without asking. Especially when you love someone, it's very, very difficult to not give unsolicited advice. And the second section, Krishna speaks about, first Krishna chastises Arjuna, hey, you're speaking like a pandita while lamenting for something that's not worthy of lamentation. Because Arjuna gives very logical reasoning like a pandita. So first Krishna chastises him. So this is one thing we'll see even in old movies. If you see, one of the things that gurus do sometimes is unnecessarily chastise disciple. And many a times this is a test for purifying the false ego. Because all of us have pumped up false egos. Our knowledge is this much, but our false ego is this much. So unless we deflate that false ego, nothing can actually go to the soul. So sometimes guru is heavy. So Krishna, after chastising him, then he gives the knowledge of the body and the soul. Very beautiful section. Some of the popular verses from Kantashala are from this section only. Very beautiful section. Many people find solace, especially after somebody leaves their body. Just by reading these verses, people feel satisfied. Okay, I am not this body and the soul, or they are not this body, they are the soul. So, okay. And the third section, Krishna speaks about Sakama Karma. How one should perform their duties. And just by performing your duties, you will feel satisfied. Many a times, this is a very common theme. People who come to spirituality, who start reading Bhagavad Gita, their families, they themselves may have this misunderstanding. I have told this many times. Happens again and again and again. With every person I have seen. Most people have this misunderstanding that spiritual life means detachment. Detachment from duties, responsibilities. I found an excuse in Bhagavad Gita. So that's why I think today we have one of that topic. Yukta Vairagya. Should we renounce, after taking up spiritual life, should we renounce this world? Should we renounce this responsibilities in the world or not? Krishna gives a preliminary summary of how we should do our duties while living in this world. And he also speaks about Nishkama Karma Yoga. So the difference between Sakama Karma Yoga and Nishkama Karma Yoga is those who are on the platform of Sakama Karma, they like their work. they like to do what they are good at. So some people will say, I will only cook every time you have, please help me with some item. Today what menu do we have? Puri. Only when puri is there, then I will make. Other days, please don't bother me. So they are attached to a particular type of work and they will do that work. And another quality is and they want the result from it also. Meaning if there is no result, they lose motivation. Today Shyam Prabhu had so many announcements, he did not announce cooks today. So, many of us are at that stage or going through that stage in various aspects of our life. So nothing wrong. It's a progression. We are going through it. But at least it's good to know theoretically what is the next step. So that is called Sakama Karma Yogi. So the next step is Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is a place where we are still attached to the type of work. I will still do puris only. Please don't bother me for pani puris or masala pav or please help me few other items. No. Sakshi Mata is thinking, oh, is Shyama Mata is magic. So Nishkama Karma Yogi, on the other hand, he is detached from results. He or she, they are not interested in the result. They are interested, they will do only one specific type of work that they are good at. And they are detached from the result. Whether people notice, people glorify him, say any comments, they are not disturbed. Just by doing their work, they get sufficient satisfaction that they are not looking for validation from anybody else. So that is the stage of Nishkama Karma Yogi. And there are many more stages Krishna speaks about later on. Jnana Yogi, Dhyana Yogi, and then Bhakti Yogi. So those will come in the 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th chapter. So we will discuss the ladder of different yoga systems at a later point. But in a gist, that's what it is. Nishkama Karma Yogi. And then this is the last section of chapter 2, which is what we're going to discuss today. Sthita Prajna, the qualities of a liberated soul. We were discussing the last time we had chapter 2, I think was sometime in May, I think. So we were discussing how Krishna asks 4 questions on what are the symptoms, how does he walk, how does he sit, how does he talk. And then we discussed about what they mean. And so we'll summarize some of that. Can someone please take the mic and maybe read through this section, please? This is what we'll try to cover over the next 1 hour. We would like to welcome back Mohit Prabhu and Arna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Arjuna's question about Sthit Pragya. He asked 4 questions, Q1 to Q4. Verse 55a1, answer 1. Symptoms of Sthit Pragya. Answer 2 is in 56-57, which is Sthit Pragya's response to dualities. 58 to 63 is Sthit Pragya's sense control. Sitting, he withdraws senses like a tortoise. Sense control is difficult even for the wise and is possible only by Krishna Bhakti. One falls down in 8 stages due to uncontrolled mind. 64 to 71, answer 4, Sthit Pragya's sense engagement walking. By attaining the Lord's mercy, one's intelligence is established and one attains peace. Agitated senses carry away intelligence and a strong and a Sthit Pragya is unagitated. Qualities and destination of Sthit Pragya.
The way Mohit Prabhu was moving from this side to this side, reading about Sthita Prajna. It's very interesting. So, we'll quickly, so these are the 4 questions. Why are we interested in the symptoms of a Sthita Prajna or somebody who is, why do we want to know their qualities? Any guesses? Everybody is looking here.
There's the advanced stage.
That we can follow.
Okay.
That is one of the
I'll
path
repeat.
for spiritual progress and path of realization, self-realization.
So that is the path for self-realization, one of the paths. And Mohit Prabhu was saying so that we can follow him. So we know what does it mean eventually. So if you don't even know where you're going, the type of person you want to become, then the motivation to go there may not exist. Okay?
Yeah, it's about knowing how to do that, and why also we know that why this is important, because otherwise it's hard to operate if we are always like here and there.
Why should we know, and how also is important. Yes. Of course, Arjuna's questions are not really how does he sit. We were discussing what yoga poses he knows, or how does he walk. Does he walk like this? So it's more of symptoms, of course. When we see a sthita prajna, somebody who is able to control all his senses, it doesn't happen overnight. It will happen over many decades if we are fortunate. Because we keep repeating this. Spiritual journey is not for the faint of heart. And not for somebody who's looking for quick money, quick bucks. So but someone who wants to make quick bucks, not the path. Because we have been living in this world for how many years? Anybody guesses? Any guesses? Millions?
Lifetimes.
Forever? Lifetimes?
We have been living here.
For how long are we stuck in the material world? Many kalpas? Kalpa is one day of Brahma. Any guesses how many days? One day of Brahma in our calculations. How many years is one day of Brahma?
4 lakh.
Just 4 lakh? No. Just 44 billion years of our time is equal to one day of Brahma. And our Brahma lived for 50 years already. Recently only he celebrated 50th birthday. So we have been living in this world, at least in this particular universe, for 50 years of Brahma's life. Each day is equal to 44. I am not so good as to calculate how many trillion or billion years that is. But prior to that also, it's not that we were liberated or some other place. We could have been in the material world only. And every day, every nonsensical video, nonsensical thing that we watch or contemplate, it makes an impression on our mind. And all those impressions that we are accumulating every moment, every day, every year, can you imagine lifetime after lifetime how many impressions we collect over billions and trillions of lifetimes? Now, to get rid of all of that, Krishna can actually do it. Just like that, as soon as we come and put tilak, Krishna may say, all right, I give you liberation. But if we get everything becomes cheap, then there will be a big line here. So there must be some effort. So it's going to take some time. So when we see somebody, we'll at least recognize who is a sthita prajna. And then as we advance, we will also recognize in our own spiritual journey. If we are actually attentive, we will notice. I'm actually earlier, I used to become angry for every small thing. I'm agitated, disturbed, emotionally. I would immediately cry as soon as my husband said, "What voice? You put salt, less salt? You will never like my curries anyway." So I don't comment by the way like that. I have learned from my mother and father properly. So, women, you say anything about their curry, it's like instead of cutting vegetables, they take so much effort. So it's easy to find faults in especially in Kali Yuga.
Because you are exactly like for Krishna also, like
she actually, everybody serves Krishna through their family. So, and then we should also appreciate that aspect. Somebody is putting an hour, 2 hours to prepare something.
Yes.
There are so many other good things that came out. This vegetable could have been not properly cooked. That could not have happened properly. But somehow our mind is like that. Always goes to something that is not good, not right. Anyway, so continuing. Arjuna asked, how does he speak? So Arjuna meant, the text is small here. How does he react to others' speech? When somebody chastises, criticizes, how does he respond? So this is also, we would like to know, so that eventually we can aspire and become like that. We can measure over time, how am I progressing? How does he see it? Arjuna is actually asking how to withdraw senses from in this world. While living in this world, there are so many bombardments that keep bothering us. Every day we open up our work to log in, you open Google. For example, Microsoft Edge, I have to open, or some websites don't work, I have to open Microsoft Edge to open my computer things. All nonsense news comes, and so many of them are very disturbing. So we live in a world where we are bombarded with things that actually allure the senses. So very difficult even for, we will see again later on, Krishna says, even for a man of discrimination, it's very difficult to. So how does he sit? How is he able to control his senses while living in this world? It's actually easy. You go to Vrindavan, no cell phone, no connection, no responsibilities. Then it may be slightly easier. But while living in this world, which is what is recommended by the way, how do we control the senses? And finally, how does he walk? As in, how does he engage his senses? So that's what we'll try to cover quickly. 2.55. One person is thinking about wine, wealth, wine and women. I also had an acronym for Mataji's as well. COM. I forgot. What are the common things that women think about?
Cooking.
Okay, all right.
Shopping.
Shopping, yes, I agree. Shopping. Jewelry. Cosmetics. Every men are speaking. Yes, Mataji, sorry. Dresses, shopping is clothing, yes. C is clothing. O is ornaments. And M is money. Mother. Anyway, I forgot the acronym. But anyway, so Mataji, please replace this picture with your own version. And this is what the 2.55 says. Can someone please read? Venuji?
When a man gives up all varieties of desires for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be a pure transcendental consciousness.
Can there is a very important point in this. There is a sequence of order. When does the mind become purified? Is the question. Can I ask kids to come in the front? And maybe some of you who are not hugging the wall, can please move here. You are reading with so much difficulty like this. You can also come down. Okay. When does the mind get purified? Question. According to this verse, when does the mind get purified?
When a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification.
When he gives up desire for sense gratification, then the mind is purified. Interesting, isn't it? Not after mind is purified, then I will give up sense gratification. Very interesting. So we have to do the austerity of saying no, even when we like. We must say ice cream is not good for me. Men think of wealth, wine, woman. Woman, please think of whatever. We were discussing clothing, ornaments, what else? Whatever. Big list. So that naturally will not come. After I'm sad, there is nothing called when the mind is satisfied, then I will give up or when I no longer have the desire, then I'll give up, will never happen. So we have to slowly cut down. Of course, we can never cut down completely. In the 6th chapter, Krishna mentions Yuktahara Viharasya. How much ever our senses are demanding, we give slightly less than what our senses are demanding. And slowly over time, we reduce that. After a year, we reduce it. And maybe in 10 years, whatever is our current addiction, without which we cannot live right now, will become a completely unnecessary thing for us. Okay, Anish, can you please read 2.56?
One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Thank you. In this also, last time we were discussing, I remember Balaji Prabhu answered this question, but I'll ask this again. Is there any connection between attachment, fear, and anger? Okay. You can leave the mic on.
So they all are like sequential. They all lead to another. So attachment, kind of that when you start dwelling in that, it kind of you start developing a fear. What if I don't get it, right? What if I lose it? If I have it, and then that gives result in anger when they are not met. So you're like you become angry, you become frustrated. I can't get it, or I'm not able to hold it. So it's like they're related in sequence in a way.
Haribo. Very nice. So those material attachments, especially, when we say material attachments, anything temporary in nature. So when we are attached to material things, our beauty, our knowledge, our wealth, our power, prestige, or our children, or their grades. So when we are attached to something, fear arises when, whether I'll meet it or not, whether my attachment will be fulfilled or not. And we are constantly thinking, and that gives rise to fear. And eventually, we get that, and it doesn't meet whatever expectations we had. I was expecting my children to get this much grades, or I'm expecting to get this much rise or promotion, and we don't get it, then we get anger. So, if we don't have any attachment, we are not expecting anything. I'll do my best, and whatever is written in my karma, material karma, I'll get. So if we have that attitude, we will neither have fear. We are not worried constantly whether, will I keep my job, will I lose my job? Unfortunately, for most of us, based on our work we do, and based on our past karma, present karma and past karma, whether we get laid off or not is decided. This extra tension of whether I'll get laid off, everybody's getting laid off, AI looks like we'll take over all jobs, and constantly being fearful of this is not at all beneficial. Nor anger, eventually when we let go, I've done so much for you guys, why did you? So, that will also not come. So those whose minds are not disturbed by the threefold miseries. Anybody knows what the threefold miseries are?
Ignorance, passion, Adidevik, Adibhautik, and Adhyatmik.
Can you give English translation also, please?
Adhyatmik is the ones which happening within the mind, and Adibhautik is the external, like
Other people.
other people. The issues come from other people to us, and Adidhaivik is like calamities, natural calamities like earthquake and fire, floods.
Haribo. If you notice, it is mentioned there are overall 7 reasons why we have 7 problems. Primarily only 7 problems for any living entity. The first 4 are body, birth, old age, disease, and Yamaraj, death. And the other 3 are these 3. Adi Klesha, Adi Bhautik and Adhyatmik. Misery is induced by our own mind. Misery is given by other living entities, including ants and mosquitoes. And Adi Daivik, meaning given by demigods, like tornadoes, volcanoes, earthquakes, so and things like that. See, these are all the primary reasons. Traffic jams, maybe living entities and combination of all. Adi Bhautik. So, alright, next verse. Sahasra. If there are any questions, comments, please feel free to.
One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness.
One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects. Imagine, close your eyes and imagine you see a nice favorite sweet of yours or favorite hot of yours right in front of you. And imagine a cartoonish character of you with a tongue out trying to catch it. So this is what withdrawing the sense from the sense object means. So you see dogs going after, sometimes they have the treats and the dog is with the tongue out. So our senses are also like that. They're actively looking for what object can I enjoy. And so those on the spiritual path, if you want to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness, we must learn to withdraw our senses. As soon as we notice, hey, my sense, instead of helping me, is actually dragging me away from my purpose of life. So let me withdraw it. Of course, we cannot just keep only withdraw and only always stay inside the shell and not use our senses to purify our mind and consciousness. So we must do that too. So how to control senses? Any guesses? How can we control our senses? Based on whatever we discussed so far and your understanding. Please shout out and we'll discuss. Okay.
By fixing mind in Krishna.
By fixing mind in Krishna. Amazing answer. Let go. What else?
Higher taste.
By a higher taste. So by developing higher taste, we will be able to give up lower taste. Haribo. What else? Please give some average answers. So these are all amazing answers. So please give.
Reading scriptures and learning the knowledge.
Haribo. Very nice. I'm still looking for average answers.
Satsang, like
Association.
association.
And,
Yeah.
basically, if you are not in that association, you don't hear, you don't speak bad about people, you don't see bad. So all the senses can be controlled with good association, and we are here today.
Haribo. Thank you. Because all my effort to find the right picture wasn't wasted after all. Yes. Speak. Speak no good.
No evil.
Hear no good. See no good.
Yeah.
Speak no evil.
Speak good or don't speak no good. Or don't speak bad. Don't see bad. Don't hear bad. Okay. I should go to Mexico, it looks like. Okay, anything else? How else can we control the senses?
They just told gradually, like
Very nice. Please go on.
You just explained like, okay, if you're really addicted to something or something bothering, yeah, so wait for like 5-10 minutes to do that, to satisfy that sense, okay, then eventually like increase the time, maybe like smoking habit, for example, yeah, just for example, like so don't smoke immediately, yeah, wait for like 5 minutes after like 2 weeks. So gradually in anything, instantly without like to our senses, give some time. So gradually increase that limit so that at one point it won't.
I agree with that. I agree with what he's saying.
Especially if she agrees, then we must clap. Haribo! That is true. Actually, it is mentioned
It's your reaction.
Can we get a mic to
It's your reaction to somebody's action that really harms you yourself, because your reaction counts as your karma. What the other person says to is their karma. So reaction, action, it works. Yes.
Yeah, so when we actually react and say something not pleasant, we perpetuate our karma. Now we are adding more karma. So whatever somebody told us was our karma, and we cleared that. Now we should be happy. Now you say this to me, I say this to you.
Yeah.
Take this.
Take time to respond also. What he was trying to say is take time to respond to it. You know?
And then slowly
really
over time, increase that time. So now your spouse says something, you count, they say in relationship, you count 5 numbers or 10 numbers. So for men especially 50 numbers. So it's quite interesting how, yeah. Then over time we actually realize, the day we realize actually I can do this. Once we gain that confidence that I am able to do this, then you feel liberated actually.
Yeah, you do. You feel so good within yourself.
Haribol, beautiful. How else can we control the senses? We'll get you mic.
Yeah.
I think we should get more mics.
One of the ways can be
one of the ways can be controlling your desires and greed. Because if you're into something, right, like your sense wants more of it, like you're always greedy about more and more. So controlling that, like I heard it somewhere, like if you're fallen for something to eat and you eat it too much, just giving it up is not good, right? Because you'll feel, first of all, you'll be first angry, and then you'll actually you might harm yourself by not eating much. So it's about underlying cause, which is your desire and the greed of getting that. So that could be another way of eventually controlling senses.
Haribol. Yes, we must understand first of all why this need or greed, desire is coming, and then slowly try to purify over time. Anything else?
So turning your material desire into spiritual desire. Like if you want to watch Netflix, watch something which is spiritual in the same thing. So that will eventually gives you the transformation.
Very practical suggestion. Haribol. If you have the desire to watch intense action drama, then you open rgmedia.com or RG Media on YouTube. Some of the dramas we were watching during our spiritual retreat. There are so many beautiful, amazing dramas. The way they do it, they stir the spiritual emotions in such a beautiful way. I really, really like. So yeah, we can watch things like that. We can watch Little Krishna and so many other things. Very nice. So we transfer the desire. So if we have desire to cook, yes, cook, but cook for Krishna. We have the desire to dress up, then dress up, but for Krishna. So when maybe on festival days we dress up and go to and say, Krishna, I have this desire to dress up. So please accept this. I hope I look nice to you. So at least, so whatever desire we have, we transfer it to a spiritual desire. It eventually, the external desire gets purified. What do you think of this picture? Do you think by closing our ears, eyes, mouth, we'll eventually be able to control our senses? And that's what this verse talks about. Somebody was reciting this earlier. Will please recite after me. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya parandrishtva nivartate.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Very good. So the only way to give up lower taste, Netflix and Facebook and TikTok, YouTube, all this is by getting a higher taste in serving others, higher tasting selflessly. Nobody may even know that I did, but still doing that service so that they get benefited. Me getting the name is not so. So when we do services like this, when we watch dramas, when we chant, when we do something that directly doesn't benefit us, materially doesn't benefit us, when we do those, then we will eventually get higher taste. So I was thinking, these monkeys will not be able to control their senses. I was telling this joke the other day. Monkeys decided to do Ekadashi. So they all sat down, got together and said, today we will do Ekadashi. And one monkey proposed, Hari, we fast the entire day. Tomorrow we may not have the strength to get bananas from the next tree. All the monkeys agreed, let us go now and get. So they all went, got the bananas and sat. Another monkey proposed, hey, tomorrow we may not have the strength to peel also. So let us peel and keep it ready. So all the monkeys peeled the banana and kept ready. Another monkey proposed, tomorrow I may be so low on energy that I may not have the strength to bring it to my mouth also. Every monkey agreed, yes, point only. And they put it in their mouth. Another monkey said, tomorrow I may have no strength to chew only. Let us chew, make it a juice and keep it in the mouth. And then another monkey said, we might as well eat it now. So the only monkey that managed to control their senses is Hanumanji. Because he, as Sakshi Mataji was mentioning, because he engaged all his senses in service of Lord Sri Ram. So that is how we are able to control our senses, by higher engagement. Another question. This is a very, very important topic, especially in the beginning of our spiritual life. Anybody knows what is Vairagya, renunciation means? Any guesses? What is renunciation? Open floor. Balaji Prabhu.
Giving up everything, especially all the material things.
Giving up everything, especially material things. Very nice. More?
No attachments.
No attachments. More?
Not getting affected by anything.
Not getting affected by anything? Sorry. Renunciation. We're talking about what is renunciation? What type of renunciation does Krishna eventually recommend? But what is renunciation? Not getting affected by anything. Okay. Very nice definition.
Giving up the false ego.
Giving up the false ego. Very deep. Very nice. What else? Sthita prajna. Sthita prajna means somebody who is able to control all his senses and sitting. Sthita prajna. So renunciation means controlling all the senses. Okay, very nice.
Not paying attention to anything which is there between us and God.
Not paying attention to anything that's between us and God. That's coming between us and God. So that's something that's maybe distracting us from God. Very nice definition. What else? What is renunciation?
Following spiritual journey.
So renunciation means following spiritual journey.
After renunciation, people might follow spiritual.
After renunciation, people might follow spiritual journey. Okay, very nice. Kids, what do you think renunciation means? Giving this class up. What is renunciation? Have you heard about this term? What does it mean to you? Each of you, please give 10 seconds answer. You may have heard renunciation. Okay, Arna, please give us a good start. And what is renunciation? Okay, any other?
Giving up material associations.
Giving up material association. Yeah, very nice.
Giving up attachments.
Giving up material desires. Okay, very nice.
Giving up attachments.
Giving up attachments. Okay. Giving up attachments. Okay, we'll remember this.
Yeah, and like Viragya, it's, like given up, yeah, exactly, all the material desire and even the relations, the earthly relations that you make.
Giving up earthly relationships, that is also renunciation.
I think that no.
That thought gave up on you.
I mean, first of all, it's ego. Everybody, when we are in the material world, they all have ego. You may think you're coming here for Krishna, but there is pride in there. You have to renounce that pride first. That ego has to go.
Giving up the false ego.
Ego, either way, the word ego itself means pride. You have to give up that. There's no such thing as false ego and good ego.
There is. So false ego means our identity actually. So usually it is used in negative connotation, which I understand why you're saying that. But in spiritual textbooks, when we read, ego is used not with a negative connotation. Ego means identity. So what is your alter ego, they say. So ego means identity, and false ego means false identity. So I'm thinking something that I'm not. I'm thinking I'm a CEO of a company, I'm so and so, I'm father of so, I'm an engineer, I'm an accomplished, that, this. So that is all false identity. But there is a real identity also, which is the real self, the soul, and yes. Dasa Dasanudas. We are the servants of God, servants of God. So that is the real identity. But giving up false ego. So that's the definition of renunciation. Very nice. Anything else?
So renunciation many times also misunderstood as giving up the work itself.
Okay, Prabhu is giving, very important. He's telling what is not renunciation. This is also important definition. Now, okay, we will now take what is not renunciation. Giving up work is not renunciation. Okay? Giving up responsibilities. Now everybody is enthusiastic. Okay, giving up responsibilities is not renunciation. Very nice. What else?
So many times renunciation is considered like giving up the work, going to the secluded place, like. But I think everybody was saying, giving up the material desires and material attachments and even relationships. So that is what many times renunciation is understood that way.
Many people understand renunciation as giving up our present place of residence, family, and going somewhere else. Okay.
So renunciation is not sannyasa. Like vairagya is not sannyas. It's the difference. Sannyas is when you leave everything and go somewhere. But I feel vairagya is more like maybe within yourself you start living.
Okay. Fine. Very good definition. I like the definition of vairagya means inside you give up. What should we give up, by the way?
I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? Like people talk about material things, about desires, about anything that leads you in the negative direction.
Okay, very nice. One final comment and then we'll discuss about what is these two different vairagyas.
It's giving up the results of the actions. So not the actions, results of the actions.
So renunciation means giving up the results of the actions. Okay, so we will now discuss what does, of course, Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful definition. Krishna, first of all, those of us who may not have read before, Krishna is convincing Arjuna that he should do his duty and he should do his fighting and establish dharma and all that. And Arjuna is wanting to leave all of this and go to forest. So that is how the entire Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So what is Yukta Vairagya and what is Falgu Vairagya? So there is a very beautiful verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So I'll mention this. Anashaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Anashaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upayunjata Nirbhande Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Muchate. So Yukta Vairagya means intelligent renunciation. So what is intelligent renunciation? Ana Ashakti Vishayan. Vishayan means material things. Ashakti means attachment. Ana Ashakti, which means no interest in material things. First thing, anashaktasya vishayan yata arham upayunjata. Meaning, when everything in this world has some use, most of the things can be used in God's service. Yata arham upayunjata. According to its usability, if we are able to use that in Krishna's service. Yata arham upayunjata. So that is the second qualification. So somebody who doesn't So Yukta Vairagya means somebody for their own sense gratification, they are not attached to anything material. Second, at the same time, they don't give up everything. Oh, this apple is useless, this relationship is useless, house is useless, car is useless, everything is useless. Neti. Not that. But Yata Arham Upayunjata. Everything we see, can this be used in Krishna service? Once Prabhupada, I think he came to US, probably maybe he stayed here for a few years, and one disciple came to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, there is another Swamiji who came a few years ago and somebody offered him $1 million. That person, he said, I don't want this money. I don't want this money. Take it away. Prabhupada, he's so detached. So he was asking Prabhupada for his comments basically. Prabhupada said, if I am offered that $1 million, I will immediately take it and use it in Krishna's service. In fact, we want billions and billions of dollars. There is so much need for spreading Krishna consciousness. And if there are people willing to give us, we will take it with both the hands and use it in Krishna's service. So this is renunciation. Not for his own sense gratification, but for Krishna's service. Prabhupada would take anything. Somebody would give a flower, a fruit, he would take it with the same enthusiasm. Somebody gives $1 million, he would take it with the same. Anything that can be used in Krishna's service according to time, place, circumstance, use it. So that is the second definition. Yatarham upayunjata nirbhande Krishna sambhande. Not according to my vision. Oh, this I want or this I like. Not like that, but seeing through the vision of how can this be used in Krishna's service. Nirbhande Krishna sambhande. Yuktam vairagyam uchyate. So that's what yukta, intelligent renunciation means. Same next verse gives about Falgu Vairagya. What is inferior renunciation? Our acharyas are very compassionate. They don't say stupid or foolish renunciation. They say this is inferior renunciation. Any renunciation has its benefits. Some of them are like, can you show your nose? Yukta Vairagya is like this. Falgu Vairagya is like this. So it will take a long time for them to get the results. But they will also get the results. Even if they prematurely give up things, they will also, Krishna is so merciful because somebody took tapasya for him. He still gives them results, even though they have given up duties and other things eventually. So Falgu Vairagya, once Prabhupada quotes this example, but I forgot the bank name. So imagine a person in Bay Area goes to Bank of America bank and he says, I renounce this bank. I renounce all the money in this bank. I renounce all the money in all the banks in America. I renounce all the money in all the banks in the world. What would you say? What was that?
It doesn't make sense to just declare it. He has to do all the paperwork and that money does not belong to him. Right?
That money doesn't even belong to him. What is no question of paperwork also. So anything that we are trying to renounce, this car, I renounce the car, renounce this house, land, I gave this land for temple construction. I only gave.
But isn't that ego when you say I only gave? land.
That's I'm saying sarcastically that we shouldn't think like that. Actually, that land belongs to God only. God only created it. Temporarily, somehow, I am made in charge of that. And if I am given the opportunity to engage that in Krishna service, I should feel grateful. So we shouldn't be like that person who says, I renounce this bank. I renounce all the money in this bank. So it's not ours to begin with anyway. So whatever we are trying to renounce in this world are actually given to us specifically to purify us. The one thing that we can renounce is our material duties, as many of you, material desires, not material duties. Those duties, if properly used in Krishna service, can actually purify us. So there was once one rishi, I was recently hearing this story. He would meditate high up in the Himalayas and he would come down only once a year. So he would go meditate throughout the entire year. Nobody else, no one would see him and he would see nobody. Once a year he would come and give darshan and thousands of people would come and flock and to see, oh wow, some person who is meditating in Himalayas comes out only once a year. So every year people would flock like that. One year, somehow because of some misschedule, nobody showed up. And this person came down from the Himalayas. And he saw only few people, handful of people were there. And he became angry immediately. He said, what is this? I came down to give darshan and only few people came. What is this? And then he went back immediately. So this is inferior renunciation. He couldn't give up his false ego, his attachment to even those thousands of people on that particular single day. So that type of renunciation is also not good. Okay, next question. How to develop detachment? How to develop renunciation? Earlier, by the way, you made a comment about giving up results, actually giving up attachment to results. So, we are not attached to the result. So, we can use the result in Krishna service. We don't go, I work, you only keep the salary. No, we would like the salary and use some portion of it for Krishna. So, yes.
So like to develop detachment from like a thing that you're doing that's like bad, like completely.
Okay, so his question is, what should we develop detachment to? I think that's what we were discussing earlier, which is develop detachment to material desires, something that blocks us and distracts us from our spiritual path, from the purpose of our human life, anything that is taking us away from like that.
So I think I heard from like a lecture, like I think last year, I think it's from Shubha Vilas Prabhu, but he was saying something like, if I met a person that smokes 25 cigarettes a day, I won't tell them to stop smoking at once, because they'll go back to it eventually. I'll tell them the next day to smoke 24, then 23, and then eventually they'll stop smoking. So just like minimize it day by day instead of like cutting it out. So that, okay, yeah.
Haribo, very beautiful. It's actually, this is amazing. A problem well defined is a problem half solved. Many a times we do not even accept, because of our false ego, we think so great of us, many a times to accept our mistake, our shortcomings, that actually this desire of mine, this mentality of me, the goals I have, they are not perfect. Even to say this, to think of this, requires great humility. So a problem well understood is a problem half solved. If you're able to write down, okay, these are the addictions I am struggling with. These are the problems I want to get rid of. This is where I am going, but I think I should go here. At least putting that on paper, theoretically. Understanding that is the first step. And then the second step is going step by step. Okay, very nice. What else? How to develop detachment?
It's like
Engaging in service. Very nice.
Association. Sadhu Sangha.
Sadhu Sangha, by regularly associating with those who already have detachment and who are trying for detachment from material desires. So we will also rub off of their ability, and then we see, wow, this person was smoking 25 cigarettes, gave up in 1 year. This person was eating meat, and now he gave up meat eating and onion garlic also. From my childhood, I was a vegetarian. I am struggling to give up onion garlic. What is this? I can also easily give up. So we will get inspiration like that. Yes.
But I was gonna say that like
We'll get you a mic while you're thinking.
Yeah. Okay. The next person can go ahead.
Okay. If you remember, we'll get back to you.
Developing faith, the stronger faith in the God, the more we, I know it only come with all this kind of reading scriptures, satsang, like devotional service. The more and more faith we have, automatically we develop detachment. Yeah.
Very nice. Actually, of course, faith is a result of something. Faith in itself cannot be developed automatically, but faith is a result of our experience. So we, let's say, read little bit, put that into practice, and we see result, and we say, oh, let me read more. I read this much, I put this much into practice, and we may expect this much result, but at least we get this much result. We say, all right, actually, I think, yeah, it's working. Then we read little more, we put little more into practice, and so over time, so we will develop faith. That is very nice. So by developing faith in Shastra, in the beginning, even though we may not like detachment, ice cream, giving up ice cream, or Netflix, whatever, fill in the blanks, it's very difficult. But we give up, as I was mentioning earlier, by controlling senses, we feel satisfied. Not by allowing them to enjoy, we will not feel satisfied. By controlling senses is when we feel satisfied. So you put this into practice. You say, all right, I have a very strong desire to go to this new movie that is released. Sound help? Fantastic Four.
Sayyara is apparently a new movie.
Sayyare. Okay. Well, I don't want to. Most people are thinking, let me make now notebook I got. Okay. So if we have, even though we have a strong desire to do something, and we try to restrain them for some time, you'll actually develop some satisfaction. Then you say, all right, it seems to be working. What else? How to develop detachment? Okay. We'll take the one final one and then move on.
So maybe you want to develop detachment from like video games or like TV. So in that sense, it's probably not too hard. You would probably just have to time manage better. So you can fill your day with like other things instead. And it doesn't have to be like boring things like work. You could also like go outside instead of playing. Or you can like shorten the time and like to like half, and then over time it'll probably detach.
Amazing. Actually, Vaishesha Prabhu, he says, be deliberate. Even when you want to have sense gratification, you feel tired after work, you want to watch Facebook, Netflix, call relatives, somebody. Be deliberate. Fix up a time. You say, all right, I'm going to relax. I am addicted to this sense gratification, but I will limit it. I will measure, and over time I will limit and reduce. So, and then we can fill in with positive alternatives. So that's what. Here is another suggestion from Srimad Bhagavatam. Very beautiful verse. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasu Vairakyam Jnanam Chaya Dahetukam. Two things automatically come by doing bhakti. No extra effort. These are side effects. Two things come for free. What are those two things? Janayatyasu Vaira. Asu means very quickly. Just by performing bhakti yoga to Vasudeva, to Krishna, something takes birth. Very quickly, what is that? Vairagya, renunciation. Renunciation means detachment from material desires. That will automatically come. No extra effort needed. Amazing, no? No one fighting, all that, no need to do. Just by performing bhakti, two things come. Vairagyam, jnanam. Knowledge also comes. So that's the shortcut. Some of you were mentioning earlier. Engaging in devotional service. I had more, but material parenting versus spiritual parenting. Same topic, slightly different, but it's a more focused topic. What is material parenting versus spiritual topic? Any thoughts, comments? What is spiritual parenting versus material parenting? Okay, we'll get you mic.
So material parenting is about like we are like focused more on like how our kids are getting good grades and all, right? Spiritual parenting is like how our kids are like Krishna devotee and how they can be a good devotee. They do devotional services and they actually know how to, handle situations like emotional situations and other like ups and downs in life. So that's like my...
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Okay, more thoughts. What is material parenting versus spiritual parenting? Okay. Okay.
Giving a gift of maybe video game versus giving a gift of spiritual books to kids.
Yeah, this clearly is material parenting versus spiritual parenting. Yes?
Material parenting is, in my opinion, about what you do for comparison in what's happening in the society, right? Like, I will get my kids to all the classes no one else is being to, or my kid they should be able.
Your kid is going to 2 classes. My kid is going to 3 classes.
Right, and then that comes with grades, the clothes or whatnot. But spiritual parenting is how do you help them be in the right, say, association, so be in the right group so they can get the right guidance. Of course, help them. I'm not saying who don't help them on study or whatever, but that is not the main goal. What is the main goal is try to show them the right path, walk that path with them so they understand, what is to detach with, what is ultimately that they're looking for. So helping them in that path.
Very beautiful. Walk with them. In fact, walk ahead of them. So you are the model that they want to reciprocate and they want to follow. So very nice.
Yeah, so material parenting is just taking care of their body basically and bodily needs, which could be like the grades or their profession or whatever, the housing, clothing. That's the material parenting. But spiritual parenting is getting them to know about the real identity, connecting them with God, explaining them who they really are, and also explaining the relationship on that level. Not just so basically teaching them how to be detached and still attached at the same time for the
teaching them how to be detached.
Yeah, teaching them how to be detached on the bodily platform, but to be attached that we all are like have to serve Krishna, and that way we have to work together and be attached.
Very nice. I'll highlight one word Prabhu used, which is material parenting means taking care of bodily needs only. Actually, taking care of bodily needs is also spiritual parenting, is part of the spiritual parenting too, but only taking care of the bodily needs, only looking after academics, anything that is temporary, we are investing only in that, only entertaining their mind, body, giving only those things that are temporary in nature, only. That is material parenting. everything, including everything, taking care of their bodies, entertaining their minds, all of that, with a purpose, with a desire to guide them eventually in the spiritual path. Why are you feeding your children? So that they have the strength to pursue the purpose of human life. Not so that they can only study grades. Of course, for most children, studying grades is your spiritual journey at this point. But that also need to be given. Why are you studying? So that I shared one video. I watched a funny video. Maybe I'll bring it up. Looks like most of you haven't watched. These are sometimes these videos are nice. Prabhu's cooking. So now everybody knows what we are planning. Did I post here? This one.
Yeah, this one.
I want it.
No voice.
No.
It's muted.
स्कूल क्यों जाते हैं?
बेटा स्कूल जाएंगे तो ही तो कॉलेज में एडमिशन मिलेगा।
और डैड मैं कॉलेज जाके क्या ही करूंगा?
बेटा किसी अच्छे कॉलेज से पढ़ाई करेगा तो ही तो अच्छी नौकरी लगेगी। डैड नौकरी करके मैं क्या ही उखाड़ लूंगा। बेटा बिना नौकरी के कौन अपनी छोकरी का हाथ तेरे हाथ में देगा? वो भी ठीक है डैड, लेकिन अब तो शादी भी कर ली, अब क्या करूं? बेटा तेरा भी तो बच्चा होना चाहिए। डैड अब तो बच्चा भी हो गया, आप समझ नहीं आ रहा लाइफ में करूं तो करूं क्या? बेटा वो सोचने के लिए तो जिंदगी पड़ी है, तू इसको फिलहाल स्कूल तो लेके जा।
डैड हम स्कूल क्यों जाते हैं?
बेटा स्कूल जाएंगे तो ही तो कॉलेज में एडमिशन मिलेगा।
और डैड मैं कॉलेज जाके क्या ही करूंगा?
बेटा किसी अच्छे कॉलेज से पढ़ाई करेगा तो ही तो अच्छी नौकरी लगेगी। डैड नौकरी करके मैं क्या ही उखाड़ लूंगा। बेटा बिना नौकरी के कौन अपनी छोकरी का हाथ तेरे हाथ में देगा? वो भी ठीक है डैड, लेकिन अब तो शादी भी कर ली, अब क्या करूं? बेटा तेरा भी तो बच्चा होना चाहिए। डैड अब तो बच्चा भी हो गया, आप समझ नहीं आ रहा लाइफ में करूं तो करूं क्या? बेटा वो सोचने के लिए तो जिंदगी पड़ी है, तू इसको फिलहाल स्कूल तो लेके जा।
So kids, if you didn't understand Hindi, I also don't understand Hindi very well, but the essence is the child was asking, why should I go to school? He's saying, by studying well in school, you'll go to good college. And then he became a little big. And he said, Dad, I am in good college. What should I do now? He's saying, you study well, then you get good job. And then he became a little more big. And then he's asking, no, why should I work? He said, if you don't work, who will give you girl or boy in marriage? And they said, now I am married, what should I do? Get children. I said, now I have children, but I still don't know why I did all of this. And he said, now you take that child also to school. So he's taking again that child to school. And that child is asking him, Papa, why should I join school? Same story continues here also. So only doing that without putting effort, energy in understanding why we do what we do. What is the point of this human life? Why are we studying? Why are we earning? Why are we living? So if we do only that, then it is material parenting. We do that, it's not that we are all spirit souls, means tomorrow onwards, no prasadam, no food for you, no, I don't take care of your emotions, mind, emotions also I don't take. No, it's not like that. I only care for your soul. That's not spiritual parenting. That is some messed up understanding of spirituality. Spiritual parenting means we take care of the body, mind, but more importantly the soul. So we don't stop. Oh, I'm so busy taking care of your body, mind. I have no time, interest, energy in taking care of the soul. Same thing as Anshika was mentioning. We show them by example. We walk with them. We show that I am taking care of my body, I am taking care of my mind, I am also taking care of my soul. And we give them such an amazing model that they can follow, that they aspire to follow. Then we are doing spiritual parenting. So, of course, I don't know if many of you, we hear Hiranyakashipu, we think he is always a bad person, but Bhagavatam mentions how Hiranyakashipu was looking for his son and Kayadu for so many years, and eventually he brings them home. And every day he would go to school, and Hiranyakashipu would bring him and put him in his lap, smell his hair, and tears would roll from his eyes. He is a big demon. Can you imagine? Somebody whose the whole world trembles, and with emotion he is crying, "Oh, my child," and he's hugging him and kissing him. Right? Have you ever cried holding your child with so much love like that? Maybe sometimes. Right? Hiranyakashipu is also in that category. He was also hugging and crying. So much affection he has. But do we take Hiranyakashipu example as a good father? Do you know what happened later? When Hiranyakashipu repeatedly he tried, and Prahlad would still say Vishnu is the best, and serving Vishnu is the best. And he tried many times, and eventually he said, "This guy, everybody in the world is chanting my name, but this guy is not chanting my name." So he said, "He is my enemy." So same person with whom he was hugging, chubby cheeks, dimple chin, now suddenly he has become his enemy. And he throws him on the wall, on the floor. He says, "Kill him." He personally tries to kill him. Chop his head off, poke him with all those, and so many things. None of them seem to work. He puts them poisonous snakes, thrashed by elephants, tries to throw him from the top of a mountain, submerge under water with a big rock, calls his sister Holika and tries to burn him. So many things he tries. So this is material parenting. As long as they listen to me, I am nice. But as soon as they don't listen to my plan, I am angry. So this is material parenting. So we should understand, actually all of us unfortunately have some Hiranyakashipu traits in us. We are conditioned souls. Of course, we are not as great as Hiranyakashipu. We cannot think of all these creative ways. And of course, we are not that bad that we are thinking of killing our children. But here is another example of spiritual parenting. So Suniti, you might know this story, I've narrated this before. Dhruva Maharaj, he has a stepmother, stepbrother. One day the stepbrother was sitting on the lap of Uttama, his father, Uttanapada. And so he also wanted to climb. So his stepmother scolded him, "How dare you? You will sit now and later on you would want the throne to rule and you want to become the king. No. If you want to ever sit on your father's lap, die now and take birth from my womb. Only then you are qualified." For a Kshatriya, it is mentioned, even 5-year-old, insult is more painful than death itself. So trembling like a snake, he went to his mother crying that, "Mother, this is what stepmother said." And Suniti, she understood the goal of human life, what she understood. And she saw a moment, an opportunity which can help him propel in that direction. 5-year-old boy. She said, "What your stepmother said." Stepmother also said, "You should worship Vishnu and pray to him that you should take birth from my womb." So his mother, Dhruva's mother, Suniti, she said, "Whatever your stepmother said about this is right. When you please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all your desires will be fulfilled. So yes, my child, please go. You take care of pleasing Vishnu." And then at the age of 5, Dhruva Maharaj leaves the palace. All beautiful comforts, nice, comfy relationships. And he goes to forest. It's very beautifully described in Bhagavatam how over 6 months, first month he only eats fruits, second month only water, third month only roots, leaves, fourth month occasionally, fifth month only air, sixth month no air. So it's possible. These are all yogic siddhis that one can perfect if we are able to control our senses. And at the end of 6 months, Vishnu comes. So spiritual parenting is this. So recently we were driving one devotee who has been practicing for many years. She was mentioning that her child is very spiritual. But during summer time, he actually wanted to go and stay in a brahmachari ashram in New York. So ISKCON only. This ISKCON temple here doesn't have any brahmachari ashram where 10-20 brahmacharis are there. They wake up for morning, Mangalarti, they read Bhagavatam. That type of ashram doesn't exist here. So her son wanted to go to New York to experience what does it immersive Krishna consciousness. Wake up in the morning, read Bhagavad Gita, dance in the kirtan, service. So he wanted to experience for 1 month. I just wanted to go and experience. So she said no. She's a devotee. She's even initiated. Meaning she chants 16 rounds, reads Bhagavatam. She understands all of this. But still, her attachment to her child was so much. She thought, if I let him go now, he may like brahmachari ashram so much that he may not get married. And how is that? How can he is my only son? If he doesn't get married, how will my lineage go on? So she was thinking like that. I thought, it's okay. But that is material attachment. So we must understand spiritually what is beneficial for them and guide them, push them slightly, encourage them. That's the word I should use. Encourage them and guide them in that direction. So when we do that, aspiring for better grades, these are all part of spiritual only. But only aspiring for grades, not worrying about spiritual, then material. Is it okay if I speak for 10 more minutes? So this is another beautiful verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please kindly repeat. What type of attachment liberates us actually? So usually we think attachment means bad. But no. Some attachments are good. So we will hear. Prasangam ajaram pasam Atmano kavayo viduhu Saiva sadhusho kruto Mokshadvaram apavritam. Can someone please read? Akshara?
Every learned man knows very well that attachment for the material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. But that same attachment, when applied to the self-realized devotees, opens the door of liberation.
Beautiful action. Attachment to sadhus, to pure devotees, opens the door for liberation. So we can all have. So this year I added one of my goals was to develop attachment. Of course, local pure devotee we have is Vaishishika Prabhu. So I listed down few things that I could do. We have to go out of our way to develop attachment. It won't happen automatically. What menial services can we do to develop some attachment to him? So we can all aspire. Somebody who is more senior to us, how can we develop attachment to them? How can we do some services to them, please them? That way we develop attachment to them, and they also naturally show some affection for us. And that type of attachment is actually liberating. So, and we will stop with this set of verses. You may have heard this before. These are the stages of fall down. Because I think one of the question I mentioned in our message is, why do we fall down? Why do we, despite our best efforts, we say, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to give up this addiction, but still we come back and we continue those addictions. Why do we do that? These verses mentions. So I'll just recite in the interest of time. Dhyayato vishayan pumsan. You can also recite with me if you know. Dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangastesho pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kama krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti bhramshama smriti bhramshat buddhinasha buddhinasha prashyati. It is mentioned contemplation is the root cause of our fall down. Anytime you make a resolution, I'm going to give this up, I'm not going to do it, But still, when you're contemplating, you're thinking about it. I was thinking of one example. Kids will TikTok, for example. What's happening on TikTok? Hey, or Snapchat. Hey, I posted this. Did my friends like? I don't know what you call it. Like it or follow? What do friends do when you post something on Instagram, Snapchat? Like? Okay, still like. Okay, good. So, how many likes did I get? And you thought, I am spending too much time on Instagram. I want to give it up. So that's the resolution you made. Now, as you open up your phone, you see the Instagram app. You went there to do some other work, maybe to call your mom or someone. And then you're contemplating. At this moment, you're not even thinking what my friends are thinking. You're just thinking, Instagram. Nice things happen on Instagram. So you're just contemplating. Instagram, I usually have fun on Instagram. So you're just contemplating Instagram. Then what happens is attachment. We develop some attachment to Instagram. We think, Instagram is nice. And then develops desire. Now enjoyment desire comes. Oh, now if I can open Instagram, I will get enjoyment. Then you open Instagram, you may get temporary enjoyment. While you're opening, your mom comes and says, hey, are you still on the phone? Then comes anger. Somebody says no to our sense gratification. Immediately, Mama, I did what you wanted me to do. Please leave me peacefully for some time. That is your response. If you haven't contemplated on Instagram, your response will be different. Because we are no action was taken so far, everything was happening inside only. So if we haven't contemplated, you will say, all right, Mama, no problem. What else do you want me to do? So we'll do that. But because we have already contemplated, we have developed some attachment. That attachment grew up to be a desire. Now you're thinking, enjoyment. And your mother comes between you and your enjoyment, anger comes. As soon as anger comes, of course, bewilderment of memory. So you resolved that my parents are loving and whatever they are telling me is for my benefit only. But at that moment when you become angry, everything you forget. And then loss of intelligence, and that's when we shout. Because intelligence means to recognize my actions are actually very bad for me. If I shout like that at my mom when I'm using phone, what is the immediate reaction that parents have? Yeah. Plus, they may take away the phone for much more longer. So, but we lose intelligence at that moment because anger, bewilderment of memory, and intelligence is lost. Same thing. Many examples can be given. You're thinking about gulab jamun. Somebody is taking gulab jamun. You're not contemplating, no problem. But as soon as you hear, nice smell. Every time I go gulab jamun, somebody was saying, Shyam Prabhu, do you love gulab jamun so much? I said, no, I love the example of gulab jamun. If you have some other, please suggest some other sweet. Some other smell-giving sweet. Kalakand. A nice sweet. Nice. So kalakand. And nice flavor is coming. Milky flavor is coming. And then, must be kalakand. And you're looking in that direction. And you see somebody taking, kalakand only. So this is all contemplation. So this contemplation leads to attachment. Nice kalakand. So now you are attached to the kalakand. And what happens next? Now the desire to enjoy it. As soon as class is over, let me go. Everybody is going in that direction. There is big line. I'll go from behind, take kalakand, and then stand in the line. So the desire develops. And then somebody says no to that desire. So Shyam Prabhu says, today for adults, no kalakand. we have only limited kalakand. Then you're thinking, it's always like this. They make nice sweets and talk about sense control and all this. So then bewilderment of memory, and we forget all the resolutions we made, loss of intelligence, and fall down. So we'll quickly read these and conclude. Can someone please read the translations? Sahasra.
As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
So even one sense, if we are not attentive and we allow it to contemplate too much time, you see an image on internet, say, a beautiful lady or beautiful dress, and you're thinking, yeah, the earrings are also nice, smile is also nice. You're thinking like this. At this moment we don't have any attachment, but the moment we contemplate more and more and more, that whole sequence follows. So the easiest is a time of contemplation, because you have no attachment at this moment. Hey, what am I doing? I already have enough fights with my spouse for dresses and earrings and whatever difficulties we have, we all know. So yeah, we should try to control. This is also a very beautiful verse. I'll just recite. If you know, please recite with me. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tashyam jagrati samyami yashyam jagrati bhutani sanisha sarvato mune pasyato mune. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. If we have the habit of sleeping late, waking up late, this is the verse for you. So if you want to develop self-control, take spirituality as a priority in life, this is one thing that's demanded of us. Because Sattva-gun is prominent in the morning and Tamogun is prominent at night. So we want to associate less with Tamogun, more with Sattva-gun. So it's recommended we should end our night as early as possible. Our day begins the night before. So you want to wake up in the morning, then just focus on setting your evening right. You will have successful morning, no doubt. So what is night for all beings? For most materialistic people, night is when they are most active. You call 9, 10 o'clock, they are most active. I was telling this joke. Srinivas Garu, Srinivas Garu, who now lives in River Islands. He was leaving at around 11:30 one day. He said, Prabhu, please drive safe. He said, Prabhu, don't worry. This is the time I am most active. So I immediately remembered this verse only. I didn't tell him, but. And the time of awakening for all beings is the night for introspective sages. So, alright. So in this chapter, Krishna primarily discusses these three things. Work externally like other people, but externally do not renounce work, but internally renounce the attachment to the results. Meaning, I am working at such a big company. Which company you work? I never heard your name. I work for Apple. Very nice. So, or attachment to the results as an attachment to salary. This is my salary. I should use it. I should enjoy it. So this attachment to results we should give up. Internally be renounced to the results and be attached to Krishna. So that's the summary of the second chapter. Externally work like other people. Don't renounce work. Don't renounce your responsibilities. They are there to purify us. But renounce attachment to results. That is the summary. Any comments, questions, reflections?
do you create that boundary, the internal and external, right? When you're
You
saying
can use the mic if it's longer.
no, it's I'm just saying that how do you draw that line, right? You're saying work externally and do not renounce work, but internally get attached. But it's like when you're working and you're spending 8 to 10 hours or whatever number of hours, commuting, working, you are in that. So how do you not, like there comes a time when, oh, it's my promotion, or like, you do think about it. So how do you draw that line? And
beautiful question. And the part of the answer is in your question only, which is, if we want to develop detachment to results, we must learn that my work, my prescribed work, is for 8 hours only. If we are working more than that, it's an indication that we are attached to the results. So, because especially, it's not possible. Everybody has only 24 hours. We only have limited mental energy. So if we expend all our mental energy at work only, we will not have the motivation to pick ourselves up, motivation to set everything right at home, create an environment where spirituality can prosper. We will not have that strength. So, how can we develop detachment? First, with the number of hours. If we can limit, we may not again, from those working for 14, 16 hours, you cannot suddenly come to 8 hours. But slowly bring it down. Understand, I've seen ants walk in our home. We don't kill them, we let them go on their own. So I see ants constantly working. Even at night you come, early morning you come, they're walking. They're just, some ants, they're just randomly walking here and there. They're going 15 minutes like this, 15 minutes like this. I thought, are they morning also? So, I think you already got what I'm going to say. So, we shouldn't be so busy that we don't have time for the purpose of life. So first is develop detachment means reduce the number of hours. Number 1. 2, meaningful, justifiable number, which is for most of us, it's around 8 hours. There may be some times where release is coming up, so I have to work. So for a week or 2, yeah, fine, no problem. In my company, my manager has this. So this project is the most important, and this we must deliver, otherwise our company will be in ruins. And I tell him, please don't take it negatively, but every project I worked has always been important. Had always had deadlines, and every time, every weekend was a very important deliverable. So I tell him this. I say, see, I value my values very much. So today afternoon at 1 o'clock, my senior director set up a meeting. So weekends, no meetings. I was free. But to not set a bad example, because if once I take a meeting on weekend, they'll think that this guy's weak. So they were telling one guy. So they were last weekend they were asking, last Friday they were asking, hey, can you be available? Can you be available? And one guy was saying, no, I will be available. And my senior director is saying, I know you are available. So we take it for granted that you are working on Saturday and Sunday also. So, okay, so that's one comment. So what else? Develop detachment to results. It's actually very painful to give our results, our hard-earned money for Krishna. Actually, Krishna is the one who is giving us food to eat. Are we growing magically? No. Food he is only giving. The power to digest, Krishna is only giving. The intelligence, the thoughts that we get, that is also Krishna is only giving. And the result of that, using all of this through us, is the Lakshmi that we get. That is also, in one sense, Krishna is only giving based on our karma. But we are so attached to it. So it is recommended, that's why for Grihasthas, 50% was supposed to be used for charity. For developing detachment, we are supposed to use 50%. But in Bay Area, if you use 50%, you will also be a homeless person. So, time, place, circumstance, the number can vary. But we must make it a point to give some portion of our hard-earned money for purposes that align with Shastras. I mean, so many charities can be given, so many different types of charities. Charities in Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. So we will eventually read. We had one session on that. Why to give, how to give, what to give. So make it a point to give some portion of our hard-earned money for spreading Krishna consciousness. So that way you remember, why am I working? I am working to help others in spreading Krishna consciousness. So you yourself will also be purified. And every day, if not the whole time, have fixed schedules of sadhana that inspire you. Something that you feel, yes, it's actually helping me. Every spiritual practice in Krishna consciousness, in ABCDE, I'm sure there must be something that inspires you. Maybe doing puja to Krishna's deity, cooking for Krishna, chanting, reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, doing some service. So there are so many things we can do. Hearing kirtans. Anything that we like, we do that. Anything we must do, whether we like it or not. So both of them should be there. Every day we do that as a responsibility. Then in due course of time, we will develop detachment internally. Which is what, again, Janayatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayadma Ahetukam. So it will naturally come as a side effect. It's not even the main effect. Krishna, alright, you're doing bhakti, alright, take this bonus first. Vairagya, you will be detached, no bothering of senses, and jnana. You will realize, big jnana, it becomes realized knowledge. Any other questions, comments? I hope it's helpful.
Just add one more point. So, to develop this detachment and spirituality, we can follow this 8-8-8 principle. 8 hours of spiritual practice, 8 hours of our work, and 8 hours for the rest or bodily activities. So, this principle, if we follow, then we can achieve that. Draw the line wherever.
8 hours for the body, sleep 6 hours, eating, cleaning, and all that. 8 hours for work, and 8 hours spiritually, it seems. You want to have some ideas on how to engage those 8 hours, please come to us. Very nice, beautiful. Thank you. Anything else?
The chapter is Sankhya Yoga. I'm just trying to understand, but here the summary is here the summary is, I feel like it is different compared to the Sankhya Yoga. So how is it related?
It's called Sankhya Yoga because Krishna is actually analytically studying. Sankhya means analytical study. He is telling that the body is different from the soul. And he's telling, how can we realize that we are not the body, we are the soul? And he then speaks about work in detachment. Of course, yeah. So Sankhya Yoga in this context means working in detachment. How is that possible? Why should we do it? Because we are not the body, we are the soul. How should we do it? Is by engaging in higher, then we give up lower taste. So they are connected in that sense. Sankhya Yoga means analytical study of this world, so we can develop detachment. The goal of analytical study is not so that we can pass the Kahoot quiz next week. So the goal is actually we develop detachment. So the goal only, or the summary or the conclusion is described. The word conclusion reminds me. I was thinking Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 has been going on for so long. So I thought conclusion, and I was looking for some title. Then I immediately remembered Bahubali 2 title. Bahubali 2, the conclusion. So then I used ChatGPT. Then I said, hey, can you make BG2 BG chapter 2 in this style? And ChatGPT was kind enough. So this is Yukta Vairagya. We are not attached to Bahubali. But I thought, Shyamukumar said, what's so special? I don't know if anyone noticed. I'll show it to you. Anyone else has any other questions? None of you noticed? So you are too spiritual to notice any of this. Alright, any other questions, comments? So the conclusion of analytical study is renunciation, which is why we are discussing this.
Analytical spiritual wisdom.
Yes. Alright, few quick announcements. We will have Gita Champions on the 9th of August, which is 2 weeks from now, where all the 4 verses, you can speak about any of the 4 verses. You can pick up any of the 4 verses and speak about it. And you can speak about all 4 verses also if you like. You can recite those 4 verses. You can recite the translation of them. We'll also, Janmashtami is next weekend, so we'll also have kids. They can dress up as Radharani, Krishna, Rama, anything like that, anything that they like. So we'll have that on August 9th. These are old slides, but we also have spiritual retreat for Thanksgiving weekend. This time we'll go for 3 nights. So we'll be there for 4 days. And last time, July 4th, we went. It was amazing. I think everybody I spoke to at least were such an extraordinary time we had. Everybody loved waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I said 4 o'clock, but some people were waking up at 3:30 only. So very nice. We had an amazing time. Just immersing ourselves. We watched some drama. One video about Srila Prabhupada. And we had a quiz. I'm really amazed. Sahasra and Akshara put that together beautifully. So we'll give them a round of applause again. Because it's not easy. Quiz that covers the entire subject matter. Quiz that is relevant. Sometimes even when we use ChatGPT, it gives some stupid questions, some less important questions. So they refined it very beautifully. I liked it so much. I thought we must do this more often. So we now thought we will try to complete each chapter of Bhagavad Gita in 2 classes. And second class we'll have quiz. So everybody has motivation to pay attention. And every time, 2 times so far, only Mataji's won. Something is wrong with... I won't say.
They have fastest fingers.
Fastest fingers. So that means we should also go in the kitchen once in a while. Okay, so that's... so Thanksgiving weekend, we'll go for spiritual retreat. So we'll share more information when we get closer. We already booked the place and all that, so this time we are more prepared. We are planning to start a new batch from August 23rd. So this time we'll have maybe 2 or 3 classes is what we are thinking. We are still debating we should take separate classes for them so that rest of you don't feel same class, happiness, karma. I think karma everybody likes. So how does karma work? Why do bad things happen to good people? So we'll figure out some of the dynamics. I'll take feedback from some of you. So if you have any of your friends who have some inclination, you can share it. Actually, don't feel shy about this because we can share. I mean, we may not go out and preach to everyone, but at least we can invite people because we know this is the real thing. If somehow or the other they're able to put in 1 in front of all their zeros become valuable. So any of your friends that you feel could take advantage of this, it's sometimes amazing. Sometimes I asked Srinivas Tatagaru, who got many people, and he got each of them at different times. So Ranjitji is one of the last one from their group to join our group.
Oh, I'm the last.
You are the last one. We were joking, and I think he was asking, why did you call me last? And Srinivas Tata was saying, I thought maybe you wouldn't be interested so much. So it's surprising sometimes. So yeah, just non-judgmentally try to invite any of your friends who may be beneficial. They themselves will filter out because the video we have, the picture we have is good enough to attract only sincere souls who are interested in spirituality and spiritual questions. And finally, so we'll take we will all stand up. We'll do Gauranga Nityananda. But after we do that, I would like you to find somebody whom you don't speak too often. So someone on Mataji's, maybe you can interact. I mean, cross is also fine. But find someone whom you don't speak often. Now everybody is scanning. Huh? And discuss about this particular topic. Which is, how can we better engage kids from 3 to 10 and 11 to 18. Kids 11 to 18 specifically, I'm sure they are getting something out of these sessions. But I have a very strong feeling, especially when I'm chanting. I feel that we can give something much more relevant, something that they can directly use. How to come out of addictions, how to control anger, how to control smartphone usage, how to, when parents scold or are angry, how to manage that, how to manage the expectations of parents and so on and so forth. So we will do all of that. So please think about this. So you share your idea with the other person for 1 minute or so, and let the other person also share 1 minute of their idea. How can we better engage kids from 3 to 10 and 11 to 18? So that's what we will discuss. But we'll all stand up first, shake off our sleepiness, and do Gauranga Nityananda.